I'm Oliver Payne. I'm an 18-year-old photographer based in Birmingham. So I started doing photography at about the age of 13. I literally just borrowed my mum's camera on a walk one day, took a few pictures and noticed that I was quite good at it. I enjoyed it. So for quite a few years I was doing like a lot of nature and landscape photography, but it was only really last year that I started doing fashion and portrait. I thought at the time that I had a passion for like nature and landscapes and stuff, but obviously it's difficult to get into that industry. There's not a lot of money in there unless you work for like National Geographic or anything like that. So my girlfriend kind of recommended that I got into the more fashion and portrait industry. Obviously it's a lot easier to get into. And then from when I did that first shoot that she organised, I quite enjoyed it, and then from there it became into a passion. Instagram is the only kind of platform that I actually put my photos on, which a lot of people actually argue isn't that good because it means I can't appeal to a lot of people. But I've tried other social media platforms. I've tried having a website that I paid for like annually, and still the only inquiries that I ever got was through Instagram. So instead of me actually putting any time and effort into trying to build up anything else, I thought I'd put all my focus onto Instagram, and so far it's working. I still get a lot of work through Instagram and a lot of inquiries through there. Like I say, I still want to get a like an online portfolio or website going, simply because it's more of a professional look. But it's not a priority for me at the moment because I still don't think it's where I'm going to get most of my work from. In a few years' time, I plan to be one of the biggest photographers in the UK. I think it's difficult for me for the time being to say what kind of industry I'll be in, whether it's music, whether it's fashion, or as a portrait photographer. I don't know yet. Obviously a lot of things have happened very recently that haven't been part of my plan. So I'm not really expecting to go into a set industry. I just know that in a few years' time I will be one of the biggest and well-known photographers in the UK. I think they were cool with it, but not necessarily they won't encourage it. Like a lot of people always used to say, you shouldn't look into apprenticeships, or you should look into a university course, whether that be photography, whether that be in business. I think they just wanted that kind of security and safety, knowing that I'd do something a bit less risky. But like I've had a master plan from ages ago that this is what I wanted to do, and I always had this in my mind that I was going to do set things, and so far everything that I thought I was going to do I have done. So I'm sticking to the plan that I've got simply because I know it's working so far.
So I'm Milo, I'm from Birmingham. I don't model full time, but I am a model. I've done quite a lot of bits in the past for quite a lot of good brands and companies. And today we're shooting for Urban Outfitters. We just work well, like we just vibes off each other. Like we just like me and Ollie, we just experiment, and sometimes it don't work and sometimes it does. But when it does work, like it bangs. So with me and Ollie, it's literally just experimenting. Like we didn't even know the location for today. We've just kind of come and looked around and just made it work. So yeah, it's definitely just the experimentation.
I mean, I've always had that idea in the back of my head that this is what I was going to do, it's what I was going to do as a business. But I've had like life-changing experiences. So things like people at school in the careers department, then for example, telling me, you've got to have an apprenticeship, you've got to go to university. That's what I was told, and I told them, I want to do business full time. They kind of laughed in my face. I'm just like, no, you can't do that. I'll set up a meeting so you can talk about universities. I was like, what's going on there? So that was a life-changing experience for me, being told that I couldn't do it. That motivated me further. But also having like life-changing conversations with people. Like the one conversation that stands out for me in particular was when I was with K2 and Daps on the Map came in, and just seeing how this was the first time that I was around someone of his calibre and someone of that status who, you know, has already made it in the industry where they want to be. And just hearing the way that he spoke and how charged up he was, it was one of the first times that I actually felt energies from a person, that I actually felt that that kind of mindset can be translated across just through conversation. And then obviously being around other people like Hayden and Nate, for example, that kind of took that even to a next level as well, because it meant that I had it around me constantly. So with all of those happening, that just kind of reassured my idea that this is what I'm going to do, and I knew how to take it further. So yeah, all of that happened over a long period of time. Like I say, with the careers department at school, that was last year January, that was a while ago. So that kind of put the idea in the back of my head, but last December, that's when it really kind of changed everything for me, because that's when I started hanging around with these people. Like, that's when I had the conversation with Daps on the Map. That's when I started speaking to Hayden and they. Yo, so 3 things about me. One of them is that I work at Curry's part-time on a weekend. I work on the camera section, so it's quite easy for me. I just sell cameras. Second thing about, what's the second thing about me? I forgot. London.
Oh, yeah.
The second thing about me that some people might not know is that I live part-time in London and part-time in Birmingham. Some people will have known that because obviously they can see from my work that I do a lot of work in London, but not many people will know about the reason. So my girlfriend got a job with the BBC last September, so she has moved down to London there. Obviously I've been with her for 2 years now, so we couldn't just leave it as that. I had to go down and see her on a regular basis. So now what I'll do, I'll spend 1 week in Birmingham, 1 week in London, 1 in Birmingham, 1 in London. So I'll see her every other week. Obviously I do have to be back for weekends for that job at Curry's, but yeah, that's the reason why that I spend a lot of time in London. Obviously a lot of people wouldn't know that reason. Third thing about me that people wouldn't know is that I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV for properly for a good year. Obviously when I was at sixth form I never used to watch TV. I had a lot of coursework, I had a lot of work to do when I was doing photography on the side. And since then, after I finished sixth form, I never took a break. I literally just went straight into photography, did it full-time business, no rest. So when I go home, all I do in my spare time is literally, after a shoot, I come home and I edit. If I'm not editing, then I'm working on an online portfolio, or I'm doing emails and sending messages to whoever. Like, I literally just don't take a break from this. It's literally all I do. Vicky Gert inspires me. Like, she's made a brand of herself. She's one of the first people, I think, to actually do that properly in the UK. Like, she is grime at the moment. There was a point in time last year where she actually was the biggest thing going on in grime. She don't spit bars, she don't do music or whatever. She's a photographer, but she made herself such big of a brand that she was grime at one point. Like, it's kind of got to a point now where if you're a grime artist and she hasn't taken photos of you, are you really legit? That's the level that she's got to now. So she's inspiring from that perspective. And like I say, she's somebody who I definitely look up to and want to become over the near future. Another photographer is George Davis. He's Birmingham based but recently moved over to America. George was one of the first people who I spoke to about photography when I first started. I messaged him because his work is such a high quality. I asked him what he thinks of my work and what he thinks I could improve on, and he gave me some really good advice. So he's someone who, you know, just on a personal level as well, is inspiring because he's such a nice guy and he's such a good photographer. So it's definitely someone who I aim to be. Like, I want to be that guy that people can talk to and I'll reply. So yeah, that's definitely someone who I'd want to share as well because his work's incredible. Invest time into it and invest money into it. A lot of people who start with photography especially like to think that they shouldn't have to do free work. So they'll reject people who are offering these opportunities to them. Even to this day, where I'm one of the biggest photographers in Birmingham, I still rarely take on paid work, simply because I feel like it's not going to benefit me and take me any further. So I would say invest the time and invest the money, even if it is paying models to actually go and shoot. If it's going to help you and put your name out there, then do it. Money's going to come later, especially if you're at my age. I understand it's a bit different if you're like mid-20s and you've got bills to pay for, or you've got a yard. Like, obviously that is a bit different, but especially people who are starting off, who most likely will be at my age, you know, invest that time and invest that money. It's the best thing to do. A lot of people also get caught in the trap of, I'm going to work full time because I need a set amount of money in a month. That's going to make you comfortable. Like, you're not going to, if you're earning a set amount in a month, you're not going to go out and think, oh yeah, I've got to go and do photography, I have to because I've got no money. Whereas with me, because I only work very small hours, it means that I have to go out to get that extra money to put food on my girlfriend's plate, on my family's plate and whatnot. Yeah, so you'll find me on Instagram at Oliver Payne _ and you can follow my personal page as well at Oli Payne _ obviously I do want to start engaging with my followers a bit more, that's why I put my private page on public now, so you can get to know a bit more about me. Yeah, you will find a website very soon as well, I'm hoping to pattern that up. But yeah, you'll see a lot more work coming soon, hopefully by September you'll see some massive things coming. Yeah, that's that.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.